analysis whether or not abortion seems to be applicable in the first place. Um, and yeah, well, the purpose of this, and I'll let you guys respond, is that like once we get an idea of whether or not it's killing or not, most of the arguments that people have an issue with, which are direct abortions, is in agreement. Yeah, I think that killing fetuses is wrong, right? And the question would be then is that letting die isn't impermissive as long as it's done for an end. And the end being is that we want to secure the mother's dignity. And so pro-choicers have this sort of move now on the table that, well, it's not murder because to be murder it has to be killing. It's not killing. And we give examples where we can let people die and it's not blameworthy and wrong on the person's end. And so yeah, I mean, that's sufficient enough to get to the pro-choice conclusion. So yeah, I mean, I think this is like a really good project because it sidesteps the entire conversations about fetuses mattering, etc. But yeah, that's the entire purpose of like why I even want to ask these questions about whether it's killing or not.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be quote unquote letting die. I think that's going to be a strong distinction from letting something die and deliberately killing it. That doesn't necessarily mean I think abortions are wrong, but I mean, it is killing a fetus.
I'm not sure if it's killing the fetus. So one idea is that we first want to get so one is that there is the direct cause of something, meaning someone's death. And what's the other thing? And there's this intention about the said cause, right?
On a random note, technically speaking, none of the women choosing to get abortions would necessarily be killing their fetuses. I mean, all they're doing is making a decision. They're not the one actually doing anything.
Yeah, and I suspect that okay, so the idea would be this: it's like, you're right that mothers don't have the direct cause for the killing, but they're putting themselves in a situation where they will cause the death of a fetus. Okay, so
Well, that's to go and say that every single situation or circumstance where an abortion is done was just simply a choice of their own. I mean, do you take it to be the case that in the situation of things such as rape or incest, you would agree that in these cases, they're not necessarily putting themselves in a situation, they were forced into a situation? And due to that instance, what they're doing would be permissible?
for the first thing, I think that strictly speaking, yes, I think that they're um, I think um, prior actions being made um, was, I guess, in some better sense, being put in these sort of circumstances, and effectively the same way as like putting yourself in a situation where, given prior actions, you could have not done, you could have done something, right?
What?
Um, now, I think that's the first thing. The second thing, it's like, okay, the second thing is that you asked is that you asked about responsibility, right? Or am I confused?
Well, I was technically just simply stating you made the claim put themselves in a situation. So I'm asking for those such as those that are victims of rape and incest. Are you stating that since they didn't put themselves in that situation, do you still think they'd technically be at fault or still killing a fetus? Because they didn't put themselves in a situation, they were forced into a situation. So would that
I
necessarily still fall on their fault if they make the decision to get an abortion?
So I think you can still be putting yourself in a situation, and also you can you can put yourself in a situation and also think that that wouldn't necessarily entail that you're blameworthy or responsible. That's another conversation. So I think that strictly speaking, yeah, I think you are putting yourself in a situation um,
Wait,
because of prior
wait, wait,
causes.
wait, what? So you think rape, you'd still be putting yourself in that situation because of
Yeah,
prior causes.
I'm not clearly normatively loading the
Do you want to
term
give
putting yourself in.
examples as to what prior causes could make you partially put yourself in a situation of getting raped?
Well,
I would
it's
love
logic.
to hear that.
There would be any. Well, there would be strictly almost any logical possibility that might be sufficient enough in meeting the conditions of putting yourself in that situation. So, I
Would
mean,
you say that a child, especially those of an age where they haven't really hit the age where they can make conscious
wait,
decisions,
but
they
before we
may be.
continue off, right? I do want to note, and it's pretty obvious for everyone else in the room listening the way that you're thinking about this, is that you are normatively loading the term um, putting yourself in the situation. Now, I think that it's fine that that's how you conceive of it, but notice at that point you're not really disagreeing with me. You're talking past me. But
Am I not disagreeing with you? I actually haven't made any claims. I'm just trying to understand your
no,
point.
I think that you are. Well, I think no one's that stupid, right? Everyone acknowledges that like there's an obvious normative loading on the term that, while giving examples which are being obviously to elucidate like a response towards that. Like, yeah, I do understand what you're doing. Now, I mean that's fine. I mean you can normatively load the term putting yourself in a situation. That's fine. I don't think I
Well,
have an
what do
issue
you
with.
mean by the term then? Because I mean, I'm going based off the
Well,
common base
I just
understanding of
expressed.
what the words
That's fine.
put yourself in a situation means. When I hear
Well,
put myself in a situation, I think, hey, if I hadn't done this action of A, then I wouldn't be in the situation of action B. If I hadn't got swimming deliberately knowing that I didn't know how to swim and didn't wear a life jacket, then I probably wouldn't have almost drowned.
yeah, so we're talking about prior causes and being in this particular situation, right? So here's an example. I suspect that like I am in a supermarket, right? And so I'm in a situation as a result of prior causes, right? Whatever those are that led towards me being in this situation. Now, nothing. I think that blames me for being in the situation or puts me in a responsible situation. All it tells me simply is a descriptive fact about the world that there's prior causes that led to this situation occurring. Now, I suspect that that's true for being forced, right? So, say for example, one of the prior causes is that I was forced, and that's why I'm in this situation, right? Or it's something that I chose, right? And I was put in this situation. So none of that constrains about being forced or not. That's why I'm saying, look, if these cases you're happy to accept that, yeah, I think you were put in a situation in a destructive way, no one would bat an eye. The point here is that you've clearly made it such that there's a normative question being asked. It's like, okay, like you think they're at fault or you should be blamed, or you're saying that it's their choice, that they're responsible, and nothing of that was result of no one's actions and they should be blamed for whatever X, Y, and Z. That seems that that's being loaded implicitly when you give examples like these. So, I mean, I would like to agree on this matter, right? Like, you do agree that forced or not, that could still contribute towards the prior causes and getting me to be in the supermarket.
I think there's going to be different situations, and there is for sure many examples of cases where it didn't have to do with what you did or didn't do. It didn't have to do with prior causes. I mean, while I get what you're saying, I don't think you fully understood my point. Because I'm piggybacking off of something you said, which was to be the case that the prior actions you did to put yourself in this situation, right? I'm going based off of that. And when I asked you about rape, I wasn't necessarily stating they did nothing to get put in this situation. I was stating of regardless what happened to be in this situation, this wasn't necessarily a case of they made these actions or decisions with the intent of being put in that kind of situation. So like it's just I don't think you're using the term in a sense that really backs up your stance.
I don't know what you're
That's,
referring to
what I'm referring to
because
is basically regardless,
wait,
okay, my question to you is let's
wait,
say
before you go on to question, like I think it's good to respond to the things you just stated. and then we can answer your future question. So one is that, that's fine. That's so funny thing enough, I keep mentioning multiple times, and I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying. So I said, I'm fine with the way that you're analyzing, put in your situation. And I then stated, right, it just seems that we're talking past each other. So there isn't any disagreement on the way that you're using it in examples where you think, well, no, you're not put in your situation with respect towards your concept or your notion of the term that I just stated. But it's awfully of mischaracterization that you take the things that I uttered, the mouse sound, right, rather than the meaning, right, the mouse sound, and then say, look, this is your intentions. This is what I think you mean. I think that's really, really stupid. I mean, I don't think that I dictate whatever you mean, right? Whenever I use certain terms.
When did I
So
ever
I
make a
suspect
deliberate
that I
claim
would
that you
want you to be on the same side here and say, look, I think that whenever I express terms, I have a particular meaning attached to these sort of mouth sounds, and it would be rude, and in fact, it would be a mischaracterization by others, right, to take the mouth sounds and say, well, look, your meaning was actually something else.
Moxie, well, for one, it's you are kind of circulating, so if I could just cut you off. Two, not once have I made a direct quote, this is what you said. Actually, all I've been doing
You made
is asking
implications.
questions about
I
what
think you made implications
no,
because,
it's asking
yes, I
questions.
think
For
that
example,
explains
and
your actions.
I'd ask
Here's
that
an
you allow me to
example.
speak. I'd ask
Well,
that
I
you allow
wasn't
me.
really done at all. You cut me off by
Well,
saying you're
you're
repeating yourself.
circulating. That's why I
So
cut you
that's fine.
off.
I haven't cut you off because you're circular or not. But that's fine. I mean,
Well,
I
you're
take it that,
cutting me off while I can
well,
not
no,
finish.
you're cutting off within my sentence that I
No, I
was
asked
still
if I
at.
could interject because you were
No, well,
circulating.
no, you didn't. You said
I
that you're
said your name
circulating.
and I said
No,
you're
you
kind
said,
of circulating. So do you
that's
mind if I'm?
no, no, you're sneaking in that you can. No, I'm telling you
That was
no.
exactly
I'm
what I
telling you no.
said.
Should you respect that?
Sure, you know what?
Okay, there you go. Then
Moxie, if
please
you
mute
want to
yourself.
continue your
Please mute
circulating lark,
yourself.
that's perfectly
Please
fine.
mute yourself. I think
I'm
that
not
you
going to
want
mute
to.
myself,
Okay, well
but
then
you
I'm
can
telling you no.
circulate
The
again.
answer is no.
Moxie, can you just give
You
me
should
some time?
respect my preferences and
Can
my
you
consent.
please
I'm
just
telling you
get your
no.
stance off?
I would wish, but I'm not letting you dictate
Can
how
you
I would
please
partake
just
the
get your stance
conversation.
off?
Either you enjoy the conversation or you don't. And if
Please
you
just
don't, then
get
I
your
suspect there's
stance off.
multiple ways of how you cannot join the conversation
Please
and then
just
leave.
your stance out? Question mark?
I just need you to stop speaking when I'm speaking. That's it.
Moxie, please just get your stance out.
Stop. Stop. This
And
is not
please
where you say, "Hey, Moxie, I'm gonna quit
continue.
timer here."
I don't know
Either
what's
you
going on.
meet
This is an
you
unnecessary
meet the
lark.
standards that I let to you, Moxie,
Moxie, can
or
you
not.
just
I'm
say
gonna
your
ignore you.
stance,
That's who
please?
cares. Stop.
Moxie, I'm not in here for emotion. Please just say your stance.
I'm not here for no. And it's kind of really sad that you then
Can
try
you
to
just say your
mischaracterize it.
stance, please? I don't want
Stop.
to hear what stop.
Stop.
Just say
Stop.
your stance.
Stop. Look, I created this VC. Like I
Moxie,
caused
that's
it.
wonderful. It's fucking
I know,
Discord.
but
Just get
now
your
you should
stance
just
out.
stop speaking. I should be able to continue. Stop.
Get your stance out.
Okay, well, stop saying that. Like, nothing's gonna change by
Oh
just
my
telling
God,
me
Moxie, what are
yes,
you
yes.
doing?
No, what are you doing? You try to cut me
I'm
off.
waiting for you to get your
Yes,
stance out,
okay,
and
we'll
you're
keep
just like
waiting a bit
complaining.
more. You telling me, and by the way, telling me previously, hey, get your stance out isn't gonna change anything. I'm gonna tell you stop speaking. That's fine. There you go. So I think that I know. I know. I wish not to be interrupted and being forced to this pace of how I should take the conversation. Either you don't like it and you can just leave. I'm not here to appease you. So look, I take it that in this conversation, I gave my stance pretty clear. I said it's the notion of at least how I understand put in this situation. What I mean, right, is that there was previous causes that led up to the current active state of affairs. Now, what that means is that, look, regardless whether the prior facts are, loaded with, being forced or things that you're clearly was responsible of you to do something about it, doesn't change the fact that that's just what I mean by just the fact. There isn't anything loaded there as being kind of like, well, look, it is impermissible to be in the situation, or it is not impermissible to be in the situation. So when you ask me questions about, wait, what about rape cases where someone's forced, it's like, well, I think it's quite obvious. We're not autistic, right? We understand that you're trying to normatively load the question from the things that I said and I gave no indication about. Now, that's my stance. I don't wish you to continue suggesting that I'm normatively loading it. I gave an example of the conditions where there's a distinction between active and passive killing. And I was about to, in fact, give an example where we can give prior causes, and whether or not those are, active or not seems to be a question about, whether they're direct. And so that was the main conversation, not about whether they're forced, they should be blamed, or whatever. That's something that you brought up. So I would wish if we were to stick on topic, this conversation was originally about the distinction between killing and letting die. So if there's anything pertaining to that, I would like to hear it. If not, then I'm ignoring it.
All right, Moxie, are you done, or do you need me to give you a little moment to collect yourself? Can I speak? Are we good?
Why are you being very rude?
Because, Moxie, see, I was addressing you respectfully, but I don't think you heard any of my stance. Not once have I claimed or made an interpretation of a claim that you said or were trying to say anything. I ask questions because regardless of what you're trying to generalize, me speaking on rape has everything to do with abortions and everything to do with whether it's killing or letting die. Because regardless, and I promise you, regardless of how it's done, an abortion is an abortion. And whether you believe you are pro circumstance, we're going to have to discuss every aspect of an abortion. So yes, I brought up the rape factor, not to attack you, not to interpret your terms or interpret what you were saying, but to understand fully what you were saying and just how far this narrative you're building goes. If you're going to make a claim that, for an instance, you would put yourself in a situation, I hear that and I go, okay, well, are we going to apply that to every aspect of abortions? Because this isn't just solely speaking abortions only in the instance of this. This is speaking of abortions as a whole. So I'm within every right to ask questions. You simply don't want to discuss the stance because you do realize that it completely twists your narrative and makes your stance sound utterly disgusting, which isn't a fault of mine, that's a fault of your wording. So if you want to run away from a conversation because you don't like that it's veering in a topic aspect that you can't really defend, that's perfectly fine. But you can't start a debate that relates to abortion, but then not want to discuss rape, which has to do with abortions. That just simply doesn't make sense. You can't be cherry picking what you want to discuss. You would have had to specify that in your
So
point.
from what I've understood,
The main topic is it killing or letting die? And that's what we were discussing. All I was doing was asking questions, which is what I do when I'm trying to establish a full understanding of your argument. And I am within every right to. Thank you. If you're not going to entertain this conversation, we might as well just allow other people to have a separate discussion because I don't want to waste time on pointless emotional rambles. I just want to have a discussion. So can we
Look who the fuck
continue
is
down with
talking.
where we were already going? Or are you just done with the discussion because I brought up rape and apparently that's wrong to bring up in the debate of an
Talking about
abortion?
emotional rambling.
Okay, I suspect that you're done. Or maybe not, I don't know. But I assume, given that there's no interruptions, that you are done. Okay, look, this conversation is about philosophy of death. None of that, says anything about abortions. The point here about philosophy of death is that, well, this is a bioethics conversation. Now, part of it is that we assess the application of the philosophy of death towards cases where, in cases like euthanasia, of abortions, or of standard animal ethics, all those seems to be intertwined, right? None of that has or will relate to rape, because that's a category error, right? Part of it is that we're talking about what is the moral status of death, right? And questions pertaining to whether there's an actual distinction between letting die or killing, and whether there's responsibility with that or not, or that they have moral reasons to still try or not try, and so forth, so on. Okay. Now, I get that, you say that, well, in terms of my wording, that I should explicitly stated, that's not what I was saying, or if it sounds bad. But that's not how conversations work. I suspect that whenever there are certain terms or phrases that are pretty polysemous, I don't think, and I should not think, that whatever your average interpretation of that should be the one that I should adhere to. Generally speaking, it is a good heuristic to adhere to standard terminology and their meanings. But I think in cases like these, where the author or the person who's narrating or the speaker, right, if that's not their intended meaning, well then I think that that's just awful. I think that when you're engaging in a way where it mischaracterizes it, well then we take that to be a straw man, nothing to be something that can be laughed off by saying, well, you should have tried saying it in a different way. You should have tried to listen and understand the meaning of something, what the author was trying to communicate, before making an assumption about whatever you mean, because that's an issue on your era about how people speak. So I suspect that there is even vagueness cases. It's not really clear to me that we have the same meaning certain terms that are obviously common to denote to, right? And so there's skepticism the acquaintance of meanings of others, seeing whether or not exactly already even given that there is uncertainty when it comes to just general words or phrases. Yeah, I think that hand waving it by saying you could have done better doesn't really address or really, shows the reliability of the terms or phrases that you want to communicate. And especially, the rules of ethics about discourse that you would endorse, because it seems that I don't think that you're engaging in a more way. Last thing, though, is that when you're talking about philosophy of death, these questions pertaining whether one is actively or passively killing someone matters. And I mean, I would just want to see whether or not, do you have a criteria for the distinction? Or maybe you don't think there's a, criteria for that. That's all I want to know, and hopefully answer those questions. And not you should talk into some narrative about abortions, which I mean, I'm fine with you doing. It's just, you probably have to do it in another VC or something, but yeah.
Moxie, are you saying that, I just want to make sure, did you actually say this discussion isn't about abortion? Was that actually what you said, word for word?
Yeah, I said no. Well, no, I said that the conversation is about philosophy of death, which I then gave an explanation of how it ties into multiple aspects of bioethics, which I included about abortion and euthanasia. So those are the things that I'm somewhat interested in. And I asked, generally speaking, as an application to the philosophy of death to cases of bioethics like abortion. So, but it does not have to relate to abortion. It has to relate generally towards what we take the notion of death is, and further questions about death.
Yeah, Moxie. So, there's going to be a little issue here. The message that you tagged everyone in is abortion killing, or right? Is that correct? That is exactly what you
nothing of that.
Just yes or no. Just yes or no.
It said yes. It has nothing to do with any contradiction I laid out. It's consistent. I said that it's the application, the philosophy of death, towards bioethics, which in this case was about abortions. But notice the main thing is about death. So try again.
Okay, Moxie. I asked a yes or no question. I don't know what any of that was,
but
it did assist my point, which was exactly that. You just clarified. So it is about abortion. Which, I mean,
that does not follow.
No, that's exactly what you just said. You said, well, yes.
No, I said yes pertaining to...
Moxie, you gotta let people finish speaking, because, I mean, you don't
think
see
that
me
in this
jumbling over
conversation,
you,
I said that it's
but you're not allowing me to
philosophy of
speak on
death.
anything that I'm trying to respond with, which is pretty
You're
bad
not responding
faith,
to anything.
seeing as
You're strawmanning
which is pretty bad
victims.
faith, which is pretty bad faith.
You strawman my opinion.
Bad faith, seeing as
you can say it's bad faith, but when I articulated that it is not about abortion,
so we could have a
it's the
civil
application of
discussion
philosophy of death
to
abortion
that would be wonderful. Moxie,
euthanasia, or animal ethics.
Moxie, this isn't a conversation if you just cut me off.
Moxie.
calm down.
Other people are saying as such
Hey,
too.
he just said he's done. Stop fucking harassing him, bitch. I don't know what the fuck's
Nobody's
wrong with you.
harassing. We're
He
supposed to
just
be
said that
having a
he's done. He just
discussion.
said that he's done. He just said that
And
he's
did you
done.
hear me say anything else? No, he just said
Yeah,
he's done.
No, you sleepy. Like I told you, look, if you're strawmanning my claims multiple times,
Oh my God,
explicitly
what
in the
is wrong with
conversation, you
this
said that I
server?
said it's about abortion. No, I didn't say it's about abortion. I said the statement that I said
Moxie,
included
you said you're
abortion.
done. So if you're
The
done, there's no
statement.
need to entertain this any further.
Stop. I think that I wish I should be able to clarify what I meant.
Moxie, you said you're
When you're
done. I'm not
strawmanning the
entertaining
things that
this
I'm
any
saying.
further. I am done too. So
That's
please.
fine. That doesn't exonerate you from saying that I
So
can't
I am
clarify my
harassing
position.
if I say anything,
So,
but he's not if
well,
he continues.
but by the way, Sleepy, I
What
started
is
this case.
wrong with this
I
server?
was the first person in the call. You joined. It's
Moxie, that's
unfair.
wonderful. I was the
It's
second one in
unfair.
here
It's
trying to
unfair.
entertain your
It's look.
point.
I think it's unfair that you can then try to dictate the
The
room of
12 person
the room of the
call.
conversation because
No
for
one's
whatever reason you
dictating. You
think that
wouldn't
you're
even
entitled
allow
to.
me to speak. You've cut me off like 7 times.
I didn't cut you to. No,
Yes, you
that's in fact
have
something that you've
multiple
done
times,
before.
Moxie.
I have not cut you off. This is the
You
Latin. Okay,
have.
by the way,
He
I
He
never
cut
just
her
cut
wished
off
you
you.
like
off.
6 or 7 times.
Moxie never cut you off. I don't
It's
know why. You
true,
don't want.
true.
Okay, well, this
But
is just going to be a biased standard because the moment I tried to make an attempt to
Stop.
respond, I
Moxie never
asked a
cut you off.
question, tried to
stop.
respond to the question, and was cut off.
Look, I take it that to address
Okay,
the
you know
things that
what,
you
Moxie?
said.
Have a wonderful night, but it's very clear to see I'm sitting in a very biased VC, and
I don't
I don't
care
do
whether you
that
think it's
stuff.
biased. By the way,
Y'all have
this is
fun with
has.
this. I don't do this on my
But Sleepy,
birthday.
this has happened to you multiple times. She says it's biased, but this has look. By the way, she's went to different other servers like PNR or politics, and this is something that happens all the time where she says that people are clearly biased towards her, and then she storms off and leaves the call. I don't want to talk shit. That's not really interesting. The thing that she found interesting is that she wants to think that what I said was equating to rape or justifying rape. That's not true. I said that so when it comes to the distinction between letting die and killing, we have to talk about kind of like the active cause of someone's death, which is why I said, given that you're in a situation where you have a gun to someone and you're shooting your head, right? You're in that situation, right? You put yourself in that situation. What that means is that there's prior causes that occurred that gave way to this actualized world where you were in a situation where you're getting shot in the head. Doesn't mean that you're not forced, doesn't mean that you are responsible, doesn't mean that you're not blamed, just means that that's just what it is, right? There's prior causes of having the situation. And she wanted to put that to, what about, do you think that people who were raped were put in situations, kind of like, I don't know, like descriptively, there's there's prior events around. But yeah, I don't know. I was interested about philosophy of death, but if that's not what people wanted to hear, that's okay. Well, yeah, guys, really great conversation.
Would you like to speak to someone called like Jesser? Like, he says murder is immoral, abortion is murder, abortion is immoral. What do you think?
My only issue is that murder is immoral. Okay, that's true. Premise two, abortion is murder. Okay, that's obviously not true. But yeah, the conclusion would follow if abortion is murder. But do we think it's murder? I don't know. I don't think so. Part of murder is that it's killing and it's unjustified. But notice that abortion isn't killing. So
Okay.
wait, do we guys think that abortion is killing? Anyone wishes to raise their hands to the audience?
Yeah, I think abortion's killing the fetus. But like,
Holy shit.
you're gonna knowledge rate me in like 5 seconds.
Okay, so the question will be then asked is, what is your criteria versus killing or letting die? I will give you an example. where it utilizes concepts. So you can build off.
Like an example.
Yeah. So okay, in the example of killing, if
Yeah,
a woman
I'm-
shoots a man and he subsequently, okay, I can't pronounce it. Okay, he dies as a result for the woman who we may correctly say that I've killed them. In this sense, of to kill someone is to be the cause of their death. In the example, death is the result of the positive action on the woman's part, that is shooting the man. And killing in this sense entails an active component. Okay, now, the moral valuation of killing would depend on the woman's motive for shooting the man. If she shot him accidentally or through careless handling of the gun, her action is less blameworthy than if it was her intention to kill him, when the action may be viewed as murder. If the presupposition on which the notion of killing rests are examined, it seems killing presupposes the existence of life and death, the possibility of ending life, and we may be the agent of such an action. Okay. Now the example of letting die. Okay, so if a woman collapses unconsciously before a young man, and is qualified as first aid, he fails to move her into a position to maintain a clear airway, and prevented her to vomit, and as a result, she inhales vomit, and dies. The young man may correctly say, "I let her die." In this sense, to let someone die is to fail to prevent his or her death. An example, letting the woman die was the result of the passive response, the failure to perform a life-saving act. The young man culpable of the woman's death would depend upon the result from her failure to act. If the failure was to result woman may die. Yeah. So just that should give you at least an idea of like letting or killing.
Okay. Wait. So I have a question. Do you think there's like any moral obligation, like in the example you gave, where, like somebody collapses, right? And you have to like resuscitate them. Do you think there's like any moral obligation of this bystander to like attempt to resuscitate the collapsed person?
Yeah, I think that so the idea would be that there is at least a moral criteria of mattering, right? So if you're worst off or that you're vulnerable, right? And someone could intervene, well then there is an obligation there that you should intervene in helping them not being this vulnerable state. So they do actually see the consent. Um,
Okay, so okay, I see. Yeah, so I guess I don't understand, right? Because like, when I think of like the first example that came to my mind was that like if somebody has like a supply of food, and you come to like their village and you steal it, and then they're like civilians die because you took that supply of food, you're like killing said civilians, right? But if you rather they don't have any food and you don't give them some of your own rations, which in turn would endanger some of your own men's, then that would be like I guess that would be like moral, right? Because you don't have to endanger yourself in order to protect that village. Um, I guess where I'm confused, Moxie, is like how abortion is going to be like equivocal to those examples.
Yeah, first is that the mother isn't killing the fetus, so she could also have multiple duties. So she could have the duty towards protecting the child, right, from the abortion, from the doctor, right, and also additionally, she could also have the duty to protect her dignity. And either or is conforming to an ethical norm, which I think makes an action right or wrong, right? So failure to do so or not failure to do so. So as a deontologist, I think that that's right. That's permissive. That's permissive. Now, whether or not whether it's an active or passive killing, depends strictly on you know um, on the causes and whether it's considered an omission or not. Now, I think we have good reason to think that our analysis should be that. So one of the good reasons is that we think that there is at least one thing in mind that is the cause of the death of the fetus. So there's different ways of how you think about the abortion case. So we're excluding medical abortion because it's not surgical. So I don't want to get too graphic here, but you kind of know what happens when it comes to the fetus who their brains are scrambled and so on, right? Yeah. So I think that what the doctors are doing is obviously impermissive, right? But I mean, the rhetoric behind is that the rhetoric behind is that we think that abortions are okay, in a sense that mothers should be in these situations, causing themselves to go to abortion clinics if it's unwanted to protect their dignity. And we might say, look, which duty is worst? So there's conflict of duties. We have to we have to find at least a principle that, we resolve these duties, either the killing of someone or the protection of someone's dignity. Which one should matter the most? And it seems that to me, I have strong intuitions that one's autonomy matters most when it comes to killing someone. And this explains in cases of someone who's a burglar, people who might steal your organs, people who might try to rape you, right? It seems that killing seems to just override when it comes to the life of someone else. In this case, when they're threatening or that they're causing the death of someone, we think that autonomy matters, because you are an agent and you are in the image of God. God would like you as who you are, and it seems kind of really awful that someone wants to perverse that by violating your body, right? It seems very deeply wrong.
Okay, I actually think I get it now. So basically, like, you're stating the fact that it's not going to be killing, right? Because you don't have like an obligation to provide the fetus with like said resources that it gains from your body, right?
Yeah, like, I think she has parental obligations to take care of herself and her child. So she would have parental obligations.
I mean, yeah. So basically, right? You're saying that it's gonna be like more analogous, rather than to somebody like taking one's resources. It's gonna be more of like the fetus is like gonna be like dependent on the mother. So the mother cutting off the supply route isn't gonna be her directly killing said fetus, right? Is that basically what you're saying? Because I'm gonna be honest, like this is a little bit like too high tier for me. I'm not into philosophy of death at all.
Yeah, maybe 12 can help us out.
Yeah, see,
Don't click
Moxie,
off.
Moxie doesn't like arguing with me. See, I'm too low tier for Moxie.
No. I want to hear 12's responses or comments about those conversations.
Go, Moxie, you want to debate me?
Oh shit! Maybe I'm like too.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm
bro.
too like low tier or something. But what do you wish to talk about?
Oh well, you asserted abortion, saying that it's you asked if it was killing or if it was letting the baby die.
Oh yeah, I think that you would agree that you would agree that mothers aren't killing babies, right?
No, I would disagree with that. I think they're murdering them.
Oh really? Okay. So do you think that they're scrambling the brains of the baby or not?
They're scrambling the brains of the baby. What?
Yeah, I mean, are you familiar with like surgical abortions and how that's operized in these clinics or no?
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking me if that's a way to kill a baby, yeah, I mean, yeah, that is. If they just inject
Okay.
cyanide into it, yeah.
So, okay, is the mother actively doing so?
Well, she's choosing it. She has the intention to, yeah.
Yeah, but like you can put someone you can do an action and someone else can be the active action in killing someone or the cause of their death. So, I mean, Is that
Okay, so
killing
hiring
them?
a hitman is morally permissible.
Yeah,
You think so?
yeah. What's the objection
So
towards that?
hiring a hitman should be legal.
Oh, that doesn't follow.
Well, why would that not follow? Shouldn't the law reject morals?
No, it seems that there's if you believe that, then you think that telling a lie should get you legally punished, but that's not the case. So the reductio lands.
I do think that.
Oh well, then you can just hold to reductius again.
I can hold to reductias again. What reductio have you in place?
The reductio being is that you think that okay, the reductio being that people who lie should be legally punished, and people who lie should not be legally punished. And I take it that you have really good reasons in thinking, right? At least the former is true than the latter. So
The only
one of those
reason
is
why we don't have that reflected in society is because it's nearly impossible to distinguish between an actual truth and something that's just a declarative truth. And there's also a big distinction between people who don't understand the full facts and they're by proxy committing a lie, but they don't fully know it. There's also different definitions of truth and compositions of truth. So that's the reason why truth is too complex to identify it as a singular object under the law because it's too subjective to define what truth is.
Okay, so one is that obviously this gets into the odd implies can. So one is that I don't really understand. So you're saying they can't do so. So why is it even an obligation in the first place? I'm confused. You think that lying shouldn't be an obligation that people shouldn't do, or no?
I didn't say that they can't do that. What I said is the reason why
Oh,
the law doesn't.
wait. Sorry, you said that they can't either epistemically because it's kind of hard to know whether they lied or not. And I suspect
I was talking
enforcing
about the
it. I
law. The
suspect
law can't
enforcing
do
it.
that
I
because
suspect
not.
enforcing it would
Can you
also
can
be
I
something
finish?
that they can't
When I
do.
use can't, I'm saying that they literally it is like impossible to do so. For one, because there's no measurement in deciding of truth. Secondly, also
So they
because
can't
who is
do it,
going to
right?
define where truth is? Not that they can't do it; they should do it, but it's just so
Wait,
astronomically
why?
impossible to that they just don't.
Okay, so here's an example. Okay, you agree that there's like an alien race called Exorpians in the other side of the universe where they're constantly suffering. Should you just go and help them out?
I don't grant. I think that we're the only beings that exist.
Doesn't matter. You don't know that. So all that you know is that all that you know is I'm telling you that there's an
Is this
obligation.
hypothetical?
It's not hypothetical. I'm telling you right now. There's an actual city in far away in the land of Grisorpia, where Grisorpians are living in misery. Should you go out and help them?
No, if this were true, if this was given this
Why?
hypothetical,
Why? Why shouldn't you help them?
well, it would cost too many resources on our part, then it would most likely
Oh,
lead to. It just is no reason to. It's
the
not
simple
our obligation
response.
to.
Yeah, the simple response is that you can't do anything about it. So why the fuck are you obligated to do so?
Well, it's not. I mean, yeah, I guess that's one way to say it. Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now the question is that look, you said that when it comes to the legal law of regarding lying, you said that it's impossible, and I take it to be is that there is an obligation that is so impossible that you can't do something about it. So why are you obligated in the first place? Maybe that's easy for the Exorbian case. Like what?
Well, within something like the Exorbian case, it's within our limits, right? Lying is something we do within our limits. So there's still corrections we can take place to adhere from lying and to make lying like not as prevalent. There's just different there's different things you can do. For example, if they were teaching like purity
My phone's gonna
ontology
die.
in
Hold up.
schools and just like basically brainwashing people to believe that lying is terrible, then
Oh
everyone would grow
my.
up thinking that lying is terrible and no one would lie. I mean, that's a possibility at least. I think that there's words
Well,
that could exist.
well, Kant would say that that's not so. Okay, so there's an idea between um okay, so there's the idea that like the source of obligations is something that you're the one who can bill it, right? Which is external sources. It seems that that seems to just pervertize like the idea of like being obligated or being like obligated in that sense because it's like okay, what if a brain chip went to your brain and caused you to be obligated to do X, Y, and Z? It's like I don't okay. In that sense, I don't think it's an obligation. I think you're getting forced to do so. I think you're getting forced to do
Why
so.
you keep talking about obligations? I never instantiated any kind of obligation.
You
I don't
said
know
that
why
you
you're
should
going
teach
about that.
people. You said that you should teach people to not lie, right, or find it to be
Is should an
impermissible.
obligation or should an ought?
What?
Is should an obligation or is should an ought?
I take them to be synonymous towards what obligations
Take
are.
obligation and ought to be synonymous.
No, okay, I said that obligations and shoulds are the same thing. They're referring to
what's the
they're
distinction
referring
between an
to
ought and a should?
requirement, or had you not done an action would be wrong, or would be something that's a
Okay, that doesn't answer
prohibition.
my question. So when I asked you, do you think that ought and an obligation are synonymous? You said no. When I asked you if obligation
Yes,
and should are the same, you said yes. So
I said
tell
no.
me, what's the distinction between should and ought?
I said no. I don't think there's a distinction. That's why I'm telling you that they're the same thing.
Wait, so okay, I hope you really see that contradiction there. So if should and ought mean the same thing, and you don't have an obligation, or that obligation doesn't mean ought, but it does mean should.
What?
So
Kind
in other
of
words, obligation doesn't mean should, but it does mean
Are
should.
you just completely ignoring what I said? Okay, nice. But no, I mean, I said before that, shoulds and oughts are the same thing. I don't know where you're getting the other case of the reverse not being the same, but I think that they're the same.
I just asked.
What was the blunder I made? Yes, that's my position. I've been saying for
Okay,
how many
and
times?
obligation and ought are the same, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so you're changing your position. Okay, fine, whatever, that's fine. So you're telling me that if you ought to do something, you have an obligation to do it? So you're required to do something that you should do. So you required to do something that you should do. Okay, so back when slavery was allowed in the early 1800s, and everyone said you should do slavery. Do you think you're required to do slavery? A moral fact. What are you talking about? I'm asking just a plain question, yes or no. 18,000? My goodness. And we're not that would be far in the future, my brother. That would
Why
not
would
be
that matter? Why would him saying 18,000 matter? But
just addressing how just addressing that.
So
okay,
yeah,
that's a
like I said before, like not 18,000. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. The point would be here is that should that follow that you think that you have a requirement? Well, it depends on my beliefs, right? So if I, for whatever reason, put a lot of like, I don't know, certainty about other people's beliefs, then maybe I would have that belief, or maybe I don't. But that's a question about the person who's hearing the command. So I don't know, depending on their psychology.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question.
It
You
does
said
answer your
that
question. You said that
if you
back
should
then,
do
right?
something, you're required to do it.
Said no, you said that everyone who said that you should do slavery. Do you think, right? You're asking about someone's beliefs, that that you're required in doing
I didn't say
slavery.
do you think. I said if everyone
Yes,
said
you
you should
did.
do slavery,
You said
are
everyone
you
said
required
no.
to
You
do
said
slavery? Yes or
no.
no?
You said everyone said that you should do slavery. Do you think you're required to do slavery?
I didn't say did you think. I did not at
Oh,
all.
okay. Well, we can always look at the transcript where you actually say that verbatim, but that's okay. Look, regardless whether or not you did or didn't
Where's
say
it in
that,
the transcript? Go ahead, tell me.
when the recording is done. But yeah,
Okay.
okay. So yeah, I mean, to answer
And
your
by the way,
first
do you think doesn't refer to Dostastica? I'm not referring, you're asking about your Dostastica. I'm just referring to under your worldview as another terminology. So even if I did say that, I'm just asking under the view you're presenting. So that's just another terminology for it.
well, that's why I would say that. Look, is there any normative fact that tells me that yeah, it is a true sentence that I should do slavery? Depending on the answer, I either I am required or I am not required to do so. So I don't know.
I thought you just said that if you should do it, then you're
You are
required to do it.
required to do so right now.
No.
So if
Um.
so, let me ask you something real quick. If back in the 1800s in America, when it was legal, there was a moral fact that you should do it, right? Because back then, if you didn't do it, you would be a poor bum scuffler who had no fucking money and barely made any fucking prospects if you were lived anywhere besides the city. So if you didn't live in the city and you didn't own slaves, you're most likely extremely poor, like equivalent to where homeless people are today, but worse because there's no
By
there,
the way,
there's like nothing
I
for you
think
to live
that the
in.
law. Yeah, I think that the law over trumps prudence. So if you're giving me this like sob story about, but your interest, brother, it's like I don't really care. It's about the legal
I'm not
law.
talking
And
about that.
secondly,
What I'm
additionally as
saying is
well, and the second thing as all I want to mention before is that look, I take it that there's going to be an appraisal on what I have about the legal standard, and it may be the case that look, they might have a pseudo legal standard about what to do or what not to do, but people could have disagreements, and obviously think that if they were legal back
you're
in
still not
time,
answering any of my you're still not answering any
that
of my
it's
questions. This is
impermissive
just
still
going on about
to.
nothing. This is that I'm asking you.
No, it does, right? Because you mentioned before that you're given the sob story about the person who's considering to
Wait,
either do slavery or not. Go ahead.
wait, hold
It
on.
wasn't a
There's
sob story. I'm telling
wait,
you,
hold
that was a
on.
historical fact. If you did not do slavery, you were a poor bum scuffler.
Hold
Okay, that's a
on.
historical true
I
fact. If
Hold
so,
on.
basically
Hold
you would have a more
hold
likely chance of starving to death than actually meeting a
hold
slave.
on,
So,
hold on.
there's a debate occurring where I serve you want to go. It's like on abortion or something.
Okay, if
Where?
you would like to get back to on topic of abortion, we can do that. Sure.
Where?
No, man. It's the fucking. This debate's not going anywhere. Let's go. There's a debate on
Well,
abortion.
because
But
Moxie is
he's
being a
on my
deafened.
fucking
server.
dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Oh wait,
No.
no, he's
Okay. Okay.
deafened
Okay.
now.
I'll respond.
Why
Okay.
is he
You can
deafened?
go.
You have
I'll
a moral
join.
fact that you should do slavery. That was true in the 1800s. Should you do it now, or
No.
are you required to do it then?
No. The issue with that
Okay,
is that we have good
so then
reason.
you're wrong. So you go against your own worldview. You've contradicted yourself. Amazing. Cool.
What?
In any
What?
real debate. That's an immediate concession. Amazing. I win. Fuck you.
What? Okay. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
Wait, Moxie, why
I'm
was he
just
being
so.
rude to you, bro? Moxie, bro, they need to lock in, bro.
No. I don't. I don't. I don't think I. Whatever. It doesn't matter. There's a recording bot, right?
Oh,
You say
Moxie's
that.
unlocked. I just unlocked Moxie. It's over.
Is there
Oh
no
my gosh,
recording bot?
I just unlocked you, Moxie. Oh my gosh, concede to me now.
Because I actually want to find the quote where he said the phrasing that I quoted verbatim, but he said he denied that, so I don't know.
Wait,
It matters to me because I'm really petty. I want to know whether or not I.
Wow, why is Kylo #1? This is like the sponsorship. That's like Jewish equivalents to like only the Jews get
Okay,
paid. And Victim,
calm
you're a
down.
Jew, so.
Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Okay. 12. Is he still deafened? Yeah, he's on deafened. Okay, let's go.
Why are we getting overrun by KG? Like, come on now, like lock in. Like, I should obviously be #1.
Yeah, guys, he is so high tier. Guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys, thank you. Now, who wants to discuss on Aristotelian metaphysics? Even though I don't even know what half of that means.
Wait, Oxy, can you? Oh wait, I called you Oxy. My bad. My bad.
Why would you do that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you Oxy. I didn't mean to. That's a great insult.
That's a great insult.
Great
You
insult.
you calling me Oxy? I'm a pedophile?
I'm sorry. I got. I don't know why I said Oxy. My bad. My bad.
Nah, it's okay, bro. What were you gonna ask me?
Yeah. Can you cash out a deflationist view?
Define deflationist.
Okay, bro. I can't like I feel like there's no way I can define it for you without like cashing it out.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Google.
Google is truth apps. Guys,
Okay.
everything Google says is true. We all know this.
Wait, no. Wait, hold on. Yeah, you fucking moron. Hold on. Wait. You know, truth app statements are just gonna be implying that it could be truth or false, right? Wow, I thought
I just got
I'm a low
stunlocked.
tier and I didn't even knew
Stunlocked.
that. Hold on, lock in.
I just got stunlocked by Hino. Oh, I'm cooked. I'm cooked.
Why do you
Oh,
guys?
the proposition is P is true if P. Oh,
Like,
city boy, city boy.
City boy. I just wondered what deflation is, city boy.
why do you guys say Google like that?
Nigga.
Google, it's Google.
Giggle.
Yo,
Giggle.
Dennis. Hold on. Let's get your
Yeah, what's up?
father. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Bro. Oh, I thought I seen Nini one trick pony in here.
I know, bro.
What?
You a dog shit, bro. You're relative to Ash, bro. Not even Ash, bro.
Oh
You're
well, I guess.
relative to who? Jillian. You're relative to Jillian, bro.
I guess, bro.
That's horrible.
I guess. Wait, Dennis, what's your position on neophytism and diophytism?
I don't have a position on that.
Oh wait. I thought you're a. Wait, you're not a theist. Are you not a theist or no?
No, I'm agnostic.
You're agnostic. Oh, hold on. Agnostic on what?
On God. I didn't even know what that fucking shit means. Neophytism or whatever you use, fam.
Wait, so
You
no.
probably acknowledge
If you're
that,
gonna
man.
put
I don't
like
know.
agnostic on which religion is true, or agnostic on if God is going to be existent or not.
Agnostic on whether religion is true. I hold to a belief of a God, though.
Oh,
Like, I
okay.
hold to,
So okay, can I get what kind of theist are you?
like, what do you
Like
mean?
what kind of theism do you appeal to? Like
Just
neoclassical
classical
theism,
theism.
classical theism,
Just
just classical.
classical theism. Yeah.
Oh, but wait, what's your argument against Christianity?
I don't debate theism, though, nigga. I don't
No,
debate
no,
against
because I'm relevant
Christianity
to
either,
Jillian.
bro.
Stop. Wait, hold on. Let
I
me be your
don't
paddle real
debate
quick and put
any
you
of
in your
that.
place real quick. Hold on, let me get
Yeah,
the
could you
paddle
tell
real
me?
quick. Hold on, grab it.
Wait, tell me the three main topologies right now.
Hold on, wait, I'm sorry. Can
Oh,
you repeat
well,
that?
I don't. Oh my god, suck my
Yo,
dick.
because your mic is shitty. Your mic is shitty, bro. Your mic is shitty.
Yeah, it's my AirPods there, and I'm at work at the same time. So,
Huh?
What the
Yeah, I
my
swear I'm not the only one
AirPods,
who
bro.
can't hear this kid. Julian, are you like Nini, but I mean Jillian, but like a guy?
what?
Are you like the guy version of Jillian or no?
Who the fuck is Jillian?
Oh, we got a new gen. Wow.
Yes. Bro, can you hear me now?
No.
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you, Dennis.
Give me some.
Like what?
Sorry, I'm at work right now, bro.
Stomach.
I'm at work and I'm
Yo,
running
why is the
time.
Burger King speaking?
This guy's gibberating. Holy fuck. Fuck.
I'm not, I'm not gibberating, man.
Apparently, I'm finna crack a
You're
gay
stuttering
guy
is
now.
strange.
Dennis, bro, you can't even. Oh my gosh, wait, hold on. What does classical theism affirm?
It affirms God. What do you mean? What does it affirm? It affirms God's
What?
existence.
Yeah.
Wait,
What are the?
yeah,
What are the
Yeah, he's clearly
properties?
from the UK.
The properties of God:
yeah. What are the?
omnipotence, omnipotent. Yeah, omnipotence.
You just said the same thing. You said
Yeah,
omnipotence,
I was gonna.
omnipotence. You fucking moron. Gag shit
No,
right there.
I know. I corrected my mistake. Fat piece of shit. All right, be quiet.
Fuck
All
up,
right,
nigga.
so it's omnipotence, omniscience, and
Omnipotence and
what was the last one?
omnipotence. There's also
I didn't
omnipotence.
say it two times again, did I? You just stuck on that
Yeah,
same
you
Dennis,
point.
fucking
Dennis,
did.
Your mic
Fucking
is
Dennis.
ass,
Okay,
so it keeps
dick
repeating it.
rider.
wait. Okay, I'll just take the neoclassical theist stance, and I'm just gonna say that omnipotence is not gonna be existent. What's gonna because the claim that he's gonna be omnipotent would just mean that he'd be claiming to exist outside of time and inside of time, and the only problem he
What's
doesn't
the
know
issue?
anything.
What's the
What's
issue?
Yeah, and in a classical theist view, right? You're appealing to that the omni. Wait, can you justify that God is gonna be omnipotent real quick?
Wait, no, I'm not justifying anything. I want to see the issue. All right, I want to
Yeah.
see
Okay.
point out the issue.
Yeah, to exist outside. Hold on. Wait. I gotta. Wait. Hold on, bro.
You don't know
Oh
what
my
you're
fucking
talking
gosh.
about, you fucking
This is
idiot.
blunder number one for Hano. Okay, we'll just count
Why are you
Hold on.
getting so
Wait. No, no,
emotional,
no.
bro?
No, I'm plugging in my controller. Because I'm gonna play
You do
Minecraft. No, I'm
realize that
actually gonna hop on Rocket League.
you do you do realize that if there would be a logical contradiction, yeah, he'd still be omnipotent, right? Fucking moron.
If there'd be a contradiction,
Yeah,
you'd
fuck
still be
you.
omnipotent.
Yeah, and
Yo,
in an
Margiela.
action.
This guy doesn't. Okay,
Margiela.
hold on. Wait, what kind of contradiction would this be? Because you said logical contradiction.
Yeah. So like the ability to actualize himself inside of time, right? There would be a logical contradiction in that, given that he'd be atemporal. So, and you know what omnipotent means, right?
Wait, do you hold the AD? Wait, hold on. I don't want to say you hold the ADS, but do you?
No, nigga.
EED, like what? Because are you? It says in your bio you're a Christian.
Yeah, I'm an Orthodox nigga.
Well, you're a what?
Why does he sound like a
I'm
femboy?
agnostic. I'm inquiring Eastern Orthodox.
Yeah.
No, wait. Let's discuss Miaphysitism and Diophysitism real quick. Let's discuss things
Didn't I already tell you this, bro? I'm a Miaphysite. You fucking retard.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not talking to you, Margilia. I'm talking to Dennis. Dennis, let's discuss
Yeah,
the
I don't know
Diophysite
what. I don't
position.
even know what.
Okay, hold on,
Dennis.
Dennis. No, because you want to claim. No, shut the fuck
Yes,
up.
you're relative to Jillian. You're a fucking retard, though.
Oh wait,
If
hold
I
on.
if I took
You're dodging me though. You're dodging. Wait,
if I read one single PDF, I'd read you on the spot.
wait, hold on. Wait, why are you dodging? I'm taking this as a dodge. Dodge number one. Okay,
Yo,
can I?
AG's genuine.
Yeah. Okay, let's read Saint Cyril's second letter to.
I'm not actually a part of KG, but
Me and the boys at the
Why are you
Jordan
part of
Norwich
KG,
camp.
bro? That's weird.
Me and the Ortho Bros on the way to watch Jay Dyer right now.
Me and the Ortho
That's
bros
so
have to
sick,
visit
bro.
Belisarius blasted bastard
yeah,
Frank
I'm not a part of
at the Divine
KG.
Liturgy.
Dennis, so what do you like about the KG?
You gotta stop that.
Yeah, what do you like about KG, bro? Why
Nothing.
didn't KG?
Nothing.
Yeah,
I just
what's your
made
favorite thing about the
I just
PK?
put it in the back of like in front of my name thing right there, Kylo, because he doesn't like me.
Wait, you think it's funny to
Kylo-
raise someone?
I don't know why people like Kylo, bro. That guy's actually
Now we're just being racist.
like he's just like the epitome of like that.
Kylo's an unbearable black.
What is Margiela saying, bro?
Bro, he just spout like he just has like the black person stereotype, bro.
What? He's a Muslim. Of course, he's gonna be having the.
Margiela, you sound really bad.
I sound fat.
Whoa, Dennis, that's just not nice, bro. You clearly have a very, very high cortisol right
No,
now.
I'm not fat, so okay.
No, I was just saying. Like I was just expressing my,
Yeah, you know what? Fuck you, bro. That's my homeboy.
Yeah,
I'm the eyes of
Go back to your KG.
Go back
Yeah,
to
get
your
him out of here,
country,
guys.
you fucking immigrant.
Mods, ban him.
Yo, now we're calling me an immigrant, bro. I'm Chinese.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I'm not an
you live in
immigrant.
a
I'm just
first
an
world, bro.
immigrant. Oh my
Yeah,
god, holy
you're a
shit.
fucking gooner, bro. You're probably from the UK, right?
IQ test for the server.
I don't like your attitude, bud.
You're from the UK,
Yeah.
right?
Hey, no, do you want to debate?
No.
What are we debating on?
Yeah, theism. Do you want to from the reposition?
Represent what position? What position do you want me to take?
Theism.
What a gooner.
Yo, what? Okay, what position are you taking?
Agnostic.
Me.
Agnostic? Oh my gosh. I can't debate an agnostic guy.
Yo, bro, just run like not. What do you even run, bro? Like probably run.
I don't run shit, bro. I don't debate anymore.
Bro, you know the amount of fucking Orthodox people that I've seen that run modal logic, they don't know.
Model logic shit. S5 is shit.
I mean, how does it? Bro, you know what? I was born in the same town as Plantinga.
I'm trying to develop a Pascal's wager kind of argument.
Nigga.
What?
Yeah.
Nigga.
It's gonna be so tough when I pull it off.
What is a Pascal wager?
Alright.
It's just like a really shitty argument, that's all you need to know.
Yeah, I'm applying it to another argument.
Yo, I'm not ranked in this philosophical stuff, bro. What is
I'm
it?
not ranked
Fifth.
either. I'm the lowest of the low, apparently. And then, even
Yeah.
I
though
don't know, bro.
Dennis
I've
just
never heard
dodged
these
me.
words.
Dennis just dodged me. Oh my god. I'm talking all this shit just for him to dodge me.
Where is everybody going? Is there another VC?
They're all racist.
No, man.
One pill, bad for me. One kiss, bad for me. But I give in so easily. But no, thank you, thank you.
No, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh.
I think you left. It's you, bro.
Then you're gonna leave. Oh,
No, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay just because you said that.
just do it. It's fine. You can do it.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, command 3. He's gonna do it.
No, bro. I'm just gonna hop on Clash Royale.
Oh.
No, I
Just
say
for
we
that.
rage bait people. I
Just
say
for
we
that,
bring people here and you rage bait them.
I'm gonna imp you.
All right, bet. All right, bet. What's the topic? Yo, why is it recording right now? Yo, we're getting
What's
clipped.
your favorite topic?
I don't got a favorite topic, but I'll rage bait on anything.
Rage bait. I don't know if you want
Topic, bro. I don't.
if you really
I'll
want
just.
to
I'll.
if you really
I'll
want to
take
troll.
whatever. I'll take whatever they give me, bro.
No, if you really want to troll and like debates, go on like TikTok. It's just like the most like.
No, only the people that get really emotional. If they're actually here to debate, then I'll let them.
Yeah. One kiss bad for me.
Is there a debate going on?
Is there?
I think people keep pinging for debates, so I don't know what it means. Bro,
Yeah, there probably is.
these guys are such gooners, bro. Metaphysical equivalent of rejecting correspondence theory. Fuck's sakes, bro.
Correspondence. Wait. Is it a debate?
I don't know, bro. What's getting heated?
Wait, where is it? Where the fuck is? Yeah. Back. I'm gonna join the other VC.
Alright, bet.